What is up, YouTube? My name is Matt Modi. I'm a content producer and betting analyst for OddsJam.com. And my goal in this video is to give you top 5 tips for new sports bettors. So as a betting analyst for OddsJam, my goal is essentially to make people like you watching this video profitable sports bettors. I have a bunch of different beginner educational stuff on the OddsJam YouTube channel. So would definitely recommend, if you are not yet, to subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. So that way you can not only get access to all of our picks and stuff, sports specific picks, but you can also get notified whenever we do a live betting stream, which are always very educational. And then also when we come out with new educational videos such as this as well. So this video is for the new sports bettors, top 5 tips for new sports bettors. So without further ado, let's get into it. I built this presentation. It was very, very complicated on Google Slideshow. Top 5 tips for new sports bettors, by myself, Matt, aka Jedi Modi. So let's just get right into it. Number 1, what we're looking at here, line shopping. It's literally the most important thing you can do, line shopping. All that means, constantly making sure that you are scanning for the best possible odds, the best possible lines that you can get. A really easy way to start off with this one is just to be signed up for every sports book that is available in your state. So for me personally, I am located in Colorado. Very lucky for me that Colorado is essentially the sports betting capital of the United States. It has the most legal sports books, but no matter what state you're in, just check out the landscape. And then once you understand what sports books are legal in your state, sign up for every single one. And you can see in the screenshots here why line shopping is so important. The first screenshot that we see here, just the money line odds for the Eagles versus Cowboys. Money line equals you're just betting on who you think is going to win the game. So if you look at the Eagles money line odds on the screen here, you see odds that can range from minus 209 all the way up to minus 238. Now, if you're looking at that, you immediately should have your antennas up for that minus 209. That means that you would have to risk $209 in order to profit $100. Look at where we see a line right here, minus 240. If you bet the minus 240, you would have to risk $240 to profit $100. It's the same exact bet, but you would be spending $31 more on that bet if you took it on PointsBet just because you didn't line shop. So one of the biggest mistakes sports bettors make is they don't look at every sports book. They just look at one and then they place that bet. Here's another example. What I have up here is the spread in the Giants versus Ravens game, a football game. We see odds ranging from Ravens minus 5.5 at minus 110 odds to Ravens minus 4.5 at minus 110 odds. Again, the price that you're paying for these bets are the exact same, but if you are trying to back the Ravens, obviously it would make sense to get it, at that 4.5 number. Now I know that line shopping by beating the closing line in this case by half a point or a full point, it might not seem like a lot, but there are plenty of NFL games that end at exactly 5 points. And if this happened, you would have lost this 5.5 bet on FanDuel and you would have won this 4.5 bet on a bunch of other books. The opposite is true if you wanted to back the Giants. Why would you bet the Giants at plus 4.5 at minus 110 odds if you can get them a full point higher for the same exact price? No matter what, you're paying for the exact amount, but you can literally win or lose the bet depending on if you are line shopping or not. So it's incredibly important. I cannot stress it enough. It's the most important thing you can do is just to be signed up for every sports book that is available in your state, making sure that you are line shopping. Not only, and this is the last point I'll make about line shopping, not only are you maximizing the chances of you finding a profitable bet if you are line shopping, but it also gives you more sports books to compare to see if something is truly an outlier or not. No other book has this below minus 220. This minus 209 is a very profitable bet just because you're comparing it to all the other sports books. So I didn't need to do any research into this game at all. I just let the sports books do the work for me. And then I took advantage of this one sports book that had a mispriced line. So tip number 1, line shopping. Tip number 2, take advantage of Sportsbook Promotions / this is supposed to say bonuses. Sportsbook Promotions / bonuses. Now, the first point that I want to make here is there's this thought, this common knowledge that whenever sportsbooks have a promotion or a bonus, that they're trying to trick you, that it's a scam. They're baiting you into taking a bet that they're not going to hit, whatever it may be. It's not true. And here's why. The main goal of a sportsbook, they want to get users on their platform. That is the number, of course, making a profit. Aside from that, well, the way to make the profit is to get users on their platform. So maybe it is the most important thing if you ask execs at a sportsbook. So these promotions, these bonuses, they're not trying to scam you. They're not trying to trick you. What they're trying to do is get you to use their platform over another one. That's why PointsBet is giving new customers $500 in free bets. That's why DraftKings is giving you a promotion. You bet 5 to win 200 if your first moneyline bet wins. That's why FanDuel is giving you a $1,000 risk-free bet if you bet up to $1,000 and that bet loses. These are not tricks. They're just trying to get you to use their sportsbook. We see a bunch of different promotions that these sportsbooks offer that can sometimes be legitimately categorized as free money. They have different promotions like FanDuel and DraftKings will do this called Bet the Total. Basically, for every 1,000 users that bet a total, the price drops. Essentially, we got a total in college football that was over half a point. So if any point was scored in this college football game, the bet would have won. When sports betting opened up in Pennsylvania, sportsbooks, they made the Philadelphia 76ers odds at plus 76.5. So as long as the Sixers didn't lose by 76 points or fewer, that bet would have won. In case you're wondering, that would have been the largest margin of victory in any NBA game ever. Those bonuses that they're promoting, those were not tricks. Those were not scams. There's nothing wrong. They were literally just trying to get new users onto their platform so they can increase their user base. And that's what they're trying to do. Just get new users on their sites. So tip number 2, take advantage of sportsbook promotions / bonuses. Tip number 3, track your bets. This one's pretty simple. You need to track your bets. You need to understand whether you are profitable or not. You need to understand where you are profitable, where you are not profitable, and make decisions such as that. Look at this profit over time graph. We see a pretty standard profit for the first, 20 weeks of this graph. Then we see wide ranges of outcomes. We see high highs, we see low lows. Now, for this sports bettor, there's a couple of different questions that you should ask them. Number 1, just what happened? Why were you suddenly so profitable and why were you not? Did you take different bets? Did you bet more money? Did the seasons change? A sport was no longer available? Another thing that is very important, why you should track your bets over time. So for the first 3 weeks, this sports bettor was profitable. Week number 4, they lost money. Now, it's very easy to get caught up in the moment when you are sports betting, when you're having a bad week, to just think everything sucks. I'll never want to bet again. I'm never betting again. This is the worst time of my life. It's frustrating. Yes, losing, certainly not fun, but having the detail and having the knowledge, knowing, okay, well, what's more likely here, right? Like the previous 3 weeks, I was very profitable. I was constantly up and I was continuing actually profiting more and more over those first 3 weeks. Now, assuming the process was the exact same, having one bad week doesn't mean you should just change everything that you're doing. You need to understand that variance is a huge part of sports betting. Now, during this stretch here, down 5 out of 6 weeks, down a lot, 5 out of 6 weeks, then yes, analyze your strategy, figure out what you're doing wrong, because at some point you need to understand, okay, I've been losing too much. Something must be wrong here. So tracking your bets gives you insight to all of this information. I cannot stress it enough. You need to be tracking your bets. Tip number 4, aside from line shopping in terms of an individual, this is probably the most important thing you can do just for your own self-benefit, and that's why I don't have a screenshot here. Bankroll management is basically understanding how much you can commit to sports betting. So your bankroll is just the amount of money that you're committing towards sports betting. So a couple points here. Don't bet what you can't afford. Now, I know that sounds obvious. Of course, people aren't going to bet what they can't afford. But trust me, it's not. I've had people DMing me saying like, hey, like I need a lock. I need to pay my rent this month. Like I need to give me a lock, something like that. So understand discretionary income, what you are comfortable losing, which is the third point here. Whatever number you commit as your bankroll, it should be a number that you are comfortable losing. Because with sports betting, that can happen. Sometimes you'll lose money. So if this is an amount that you're okay losing and you can still pay your bills, you look at your finances and everything is still okay, then that's what should be your bankroll. And then the last point, this number should come independently after looking at your own finances. So you and your significant other, whoever is handling your finances, should come to this number independently without any outside sources. Don't let someone like myself or any other person you see, their sports betting personality that you see out there, tell you what your bankroll should and shouldn't be. It should be a number that you come to independently that you're comfortable with. So I've had a ton of people ask me, oh, well, what should my bankroll be? And every single time I tell them, it's not up to me to decide, it's up to you, because everybody is going to have a different level of comfort and what they're comfortable committing towards sports betting. So bankroll management, understanding what your bankroll is and knowing not to bet above that amount obviously is very, very important. Tip number 4. And then lastly, this is becoming very, very apparent and important in today's day and age with different social medias. Just watch out for people that call themselves touts or cappers. Now, the first point I want to make, some are really good. Some are very, very, very good. There are some that I legitimately follow myself, even as a betting analyst who has a great tool like OddsJam. I like to see what people that I trust, people that I respect, what they are saying for certain plays. But what I will say is that the majority of the people that you see touting themselves as a capper, they're salesmen. Their main goal is to get you to be a customer, not to make you profitable. That's what you need to understand. They're just, at heart, they're most likely a salesperson. So they don't care how much money you are making. They just want to get you as a customer. Signs that you can look out for to understand which ones are good and which ones are not. People that brag about win percentage specifically are almost never going to be good. You should always avoid those people. If you're constantly betting on favorites, yeah, your win percentage will be high. But if you're betting on favorites, you need to have a high win percentage in order to be profitable. If Alabama is at minus 500, they need to win 80% of the time in order for you to even break even at that number. So if a touter is betting on minus 500 odds every single game, they could win legitimately 75% of their bets and still be losing money. So people that are bragging about win percentages, people that you should avoid. The next thing that you want to look at is people that don't track their bets, don't have some sort of source that you can look at that has their entire bet sheet, or that they only post winning bet slips. So if someone posts a bet slip but didn't previously post the play itself, that's a red flag, because that what you're telling the people is that you weren't confident enough to say, oh, you should bet this play, but then if it hits, you're taking all the rewards from it. It doesn't work like that. And this is especially important with parlays. You see a lot of people hit some absurd 15 leg plus 10,000 parlay. But how many of those are you betting, right? Those people most likely are betting hundreds and hundreds of these different parlays, and then they're only posting the ones that actually hit, that actually win. So you want people that are tracking their bets, that are comfortable telling you, hey, I had a bad week. Look at it right here. I'm down actually for this week, or I'm down overall, but I'm looking to get it figured out. Stuff like that. Stuff you want to look out for. So tip number 5, watch out for touts/handicappers. And that's it. Those are the top 5 tips for new sports bettors. So to begin, to start from the top, tip number 1, line shopping, just constantly making sure that you are getting the best odds. Tip number 2, take advantage of Sportsbook Promotions/bonuses. Tip number 3, track your bets. Understand whether you are profitable or not and where you are profitable or not. Tip number 4, bankroll management. Understand what number that you are comfortable losing and dedicating towards sports betting. And then lastly, be careful with touts/handicappers. And that's it. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. You can hit me up on Twitter at JediModai. You can email me, Matthew@oddsjam.com. You can also comment on the video with any feedback that way. But that is going to be it. So again, I appreciate you guys watching and have a good one.